this entire cabinet. Let's do it, shall we? Just got to move this one first. Looks like I left some screws in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to build the cabinet here, and you guys can watch literally everything that I'm going to do. First, we get our sides of our cabinet, which are called, or at least that I like to call gables, is a term that not a lot of people use, but at least in Canada, it was pretty prolific up there. Okay. And you know what we're going to do first? We're going to put our drawer slides on there first. So, um, if I had the right drawer slides, which I don't have any more of those drawer slides. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to glue these suckers up first. We apply the glue once so that we don't have to pick up the glue bottle again for the rest of the assembly. Ooh. So that means that we can be efficient with our movement, and I don't have to worry about that anymore. Then we grab our bottom, which is right here. And all of these cabinets have these cutouts right here. It's kind of like a mortise, at least up here is a mortise. And then they have these little bumped out portion right there. That tells you exactly where that, here, so I'll put it from the side so you can see. That's exactly where your piece is going to go. It's going to fit right in there. Boop. Just like that. When it's all fitted into that slot really well, everything is nice and flush on the bottom. Then what we do is, sorry, I can't do it like that. Do it like this. After you get it all flushed up, then we tack it in place with a nailer, 18 gauge nail. That just holds it in place until we can get the screws in. Okay, so we got that side tacked. Now we're going to tack the other side. Making sure everything's nice and flush. All these cabinets were run on the CNC. Means I have all my hardware holes pre-drilled. Four screws on the bottom. Two-inch screws. These screws are black, but they're not drywall screws. They are cabinet screws. Horse thread cabinet screw. It holds really well. And that glue supports the joint as it's being assembled. Okay. So we have that going in right there. Countersink the holes so it allows the screw head to fit nice and flush. Now you may be wondering, John, putting screws on the outside of your cabinet, how is that going to be finished? Well, the thing is that we have finished end panels. Let me grab one just to show you if I have one somewhere right here. We have our cabinet that goes in. It's installed. It's screwed to the wall. Then we have this panel here that is long. It is deeper than the cabinet on purpose so that I can scribe it to the wall so that it'll fit nice and tight to the wall itself. And that is screwed from the inside of the cabinet, which gives it its finished look. Follow? Savvy? All right. Now we have our rails here, which gives stability to the cabinet. Go in the center, one above. Put those in here in a second. Same thing as with the bottom. We nail those in place, and then we come back with screws. All the nails do is just hold it until we can get screws in there. And that joint can be squirrely if you're not paying attention. Like that joint will move when you're trying to pre-drill screws into the side. So we put nails in with glue, and that allows us to be able to get our countersink in there with a pilot hole without this material moving around and becoming not flush. Okay. And because you're not going to see the side of this cabinet, it doesn't matter if when we do a butt joint like this and then through our screws into the side. Okay, now we have our back stretcher we'll put in. And you notice how I'm not stopping to glue anything because I already pre-glued it from the beginning. That way I don't have to pick up my glue, stop and pick up my glue bottle and then put it down and then stop, pick my glue bottle up again. And everything that I put down, like my nail gun right here, this is right next to it. Or it's hanging off the back pocket, like this drill right here. And we don't fire our screws super deep into those countersinks either. We get it so it's snug and then we leave it. That way we don't have to worry about it stripping out the material. But it's holding it nice and tight. Now, that is done. Now we do the back. We do glue the back. Some people don't glue the back. I like to glue the back. Keeps it more stable, and it's so easy. It takes so little effort to put glue on the back of your cabinet. Now the back is what gives the whole thing lateral support. Okay, so you notice how all my stuff was in there, all the stretchers, the tops, bottoms, whatever. The whole thing could still move like this if you're looking at it straight on. And so what the back does is it gives tension to the whole thing. That is the structure of the cabinet essentially. It also is what keeps it square. My back is cut square, which it is, then it's going to keep the rest of the cabinet square. What's going on here, fella? So I get that nice and flush all the way up one side. Okay. Now I'm going to do it flush on the bottom side, and that's going to make the cabinet completely square. Okay. And you don't want to slack on that either. It has to be square. If it's not square, if the cabinet is not square, it's not going to transfer the load straight down to your base. And that's very bad. You want everything to transfer straight down. That way, the structure of the cabinet and the longevity of the cabinet is taken care of. So if it's off like this, the load is going to go straight down. Okay, which means that it's going to put more force on this side. It's going to want to it's going to want to tip it that way. So if your cabinet is perfectly square, it's going to want to stay square for the rest of its life. It's going to transfer all the load that's inside it, whether it's dishes or silverware or you know 5 instant pots you got for your wedding that you never use. The time cabinets that are not made very well, that's a big issue. Things are not flush, parts are not square. That's why they don't last, is because the load over and over and over every single day, things moving, doors, drawers moving, causes it to transfer the load in an uneven way. It's just like if you were out of balance and somebody handed you like a 45-pound kettlebell, they're gonna want to pull you out of balance even more. So we pilot hole all the rest of the sides. We screw those. Most of the work is being done by the screw to hold it in place. Um, or not the screw, sorry, the glue. The glue is what has basically creates grip, or not grip, I don't know, grip across the entire part. And then the screws act as support to that to allow it to not move beyond the tolerance of the glue, I guess. Hard for me to explain it because I'm not a smart engineer. But the glue supports the screws, or supports the cabinet, and the screws support the glue. Anyway, there's your cabinet right there. To fasten to the wall, we just fasten it through the 1/2 inch back. And yeah, then I'll put in my drawer slides. You can see there are already holes drilled in the sides by my CNC. It makes assembly faster, makes everything faster. The CNC is just, it's an awesome machine. So anyway, that is how you assemble cabinet. You saw the other one that was already assembled with drawers in it and everything, and extra screws rattling around. So if you want to see it from the very beginning, I'm going to be posting this on my feed. Um, so yeah, that's that. Thank you for joining, and catch you later.